So in this update, I want to talk about two things. First of all, was it worth it, us coming back to Brazil? And second thing is timeline. What's it going to look like in the future? So first question is, was it worth it for us coming back here to Brazil? I think, yeah, absolutely. As you guys know, 2 years ago, we left the field because of Amber's health and came back to the States, and things were difficult, and we didn't know what to do. But Amber got answers. The doctors said, okay, yeah, you can go back to the States, so we did, and come back to Brazil, so we did. They didn't seem to think there was a problem, so that's what we did. We did that, but when we did, we always knew that this is a possibility. This is going to happen again, and if it happened again, we'd already made the decision that we're not going to keep going back and forth to America every year, every 2 years to try and figure this out. So we knew coming back, this could be the last time that we're here in Brazil. I think maybe because of that, we took a lot more advantage of the time that we had. We've been here for 9 years, and of all the 9 years that we've been here, every year is better than the year before. And definitely this last year, if we think of all of the opportunities that we've taken advantage of and things that we've done, it's been the most productive than any other of our previous years. So we're very pleased, and we had more ministry opportunities, more evangelistic opportunities, more helping our church and being involved in our church and ministering in our church. Amber through children's ministry, and me through the preaching and the treasurer position that I have at the church, and then just the relationship developments with the pastor and with other people and individuals, and so I would say absolutely it's been worth it. Two things in specific how it's been worth it is we sent out an email about a man, a random man here in Brazil who needed help, a random American who needed help. And I don't know exactly all, I don't remember everything that we said, but I'm pretty much undoubted he would have died had I not been able to help him. He would have not been coherent enough to get on an airplane, and even if he got on an airplane, no one would have been able to help him get to a hospital. And anyway, I don't think he would have survived had I not been here. So I don't know what's going to happen to him. I send him messages every now and then. We still have a bit of a relationship, but definitely, share the gospel with him since, he wasn't able to do that since when he was in the hospital. But since he's got out, I've able to share the gospel with him. And then his friend that came down to help out, take over after I left. We talked a lot, and he was actually pretty critical of Christianity before that point, and then after the conversations, he was a lot more opened up to it, and said he was gonna look into a church. I don't know if he will or not, but I hope that this was a seed that was planted in his head. So that's kind of like a defining moment, if you will. But recently, I've been preaching at our church. I've been in charge of the adult Sunday school class, and we've been walking through the book of John, the Gospel of John, and it's been really, really exciting. That's been one of the biggest highlights of this last year, is going through the book of John. And I didn't get very far. I've got to chapter 3, but in the last 2 weeks, 2 weeks ago I started chapter 3, and then I started the story of Nicodemus, and then this last week I finished the story of Nicodemus. But 2 weeks ago it was a clear gospel opportunity, and so I presented the gospel. I don't normally have invitation time, but I felt like this was important. This was a clear gospel message, and it needed to have that. And somebody came to know the Lord because of that. And this person that came to know the Lord, we were able to talk to him a little bit, and it's been exciting, super exciting. So maybe not a whole lot more than this happened, but absolutely there will be a soul in heaven because of this last year of our ministry. And that's exciting news, super exciting. And I never know, and we never know what's going to happen with this other situation. On top of all the just helping maturing the believers, the church that we're at, has been invaluable and very precious. So we're very grateful for the time that we had here, and we do think it was worth it. It was worth coming back to Brazil. Second question is timeline. What's going to happen? Timeline, future, what's going to happen? And we don't know. This is really scary for a lot of us. I don't worry about it too much, but I do think this is my job and I'm now quitting and going somewhere else. And so I would really appreciate prayer for that, just as far as where we're supposed to go and what we're supposed to do. We don't have a whole lot of, we haven't really said no to anything. I would, thinking of these last year and how much I've been able to preach, this is still my passion and my desire, my goal. I love preaching, explaining the Word of God, helping people, developing relationship with people, walking through difficult times with people. That's what I love doing. I enjoy doing that. So I would absolutely want to continue in a pastoralship, a pastoralship or an associate pastor or something in the United States. I would really appreciate that. So anyway, that's something for you guys to be praying about. And if you guys know of anything, please let us know. But that being said, we're not exclusively saying that this is what we have to do. Even just a normal 9 to 5, we would be okay with as well. Really trying to seek God's direction and wisdom in this next phase of life. As far as timeline, what's going to happen next is originally we were thinking of leaving in December or in January, December, that area. And I remember, have you ever that feeling of deja vu all over again? Yeah, well, we had that. And I remember 2 years ago when we first left the field, Amber wasn't feeling good, and we thought, well, maybe if we could just make it till Christmas, and then we'll take a long Christmas break in the States. We'll go back for Christmas, and a long break, and figure out the problems then. And Amber got worse and worse and worse and worse until she left in October. And so instead of trying to repeat our mistakes in the past, we've decided to come back in August instead. So we'll be leaving the field on August 12th of 2023. So please be praying for us during this transition.